Greetings, this is Pastor A.K. Parham, and we just want to deal with the thought real quickly. How does the golden rule add value to lives? How does the golden rule add value to lives? The name giving as the golden rule is a life principle that Jesus taught on the Sermon on the Mount. The actual word golden rule we don't find necessarily in the scriptures, just as the word Sermon on the Mount also is not found, but is a title to make our Bible study a little bit easier and help us to guide our way in the Bible, and help us to understand the principles, amen, to give a little catchy phrase that help us to tie the biblical to every day and how this will work out and apply in our lives. What we call the golden rule refers to Matthew 7:12. So in everything, do to others what you would have them to do unto you. For this sums up all the law and the prophets. And Jesus, understanding when Jesus taught that, he knew the heart and the selfishness of humanity. And so many times, man, we could just apply this principle, live according to this world would be a better place. Some of the things that we see before us today and even in our history, man, would be changed and eradicated and mitigated so that when we go into this future, we'll have better unity if we only treated each other the way that we want to be treated. And so we thanking God today that because the golden rule, we take in our heart. And I pray that you're teaching in your homes and your community, and it needs to be taught in our schools to treat people the way you want to be treated. And so, yes, if people would apply the golden rule, we say that we will see society operate in a better state of unity and togetherness. It would, I believe it. This word would apply to every individual. It does. Every individual needs to know and operate in this according to the biblical way that God has given us. And if we do that in an individual race, man, how would it start in our own community? How could it extend to the unity of the human race abroad? The golden rule. And so the golden rule, what it does is when you operate in the golden rule, you treat people the way you want to be treated, that you treat them with a dignity and a respect. And they're giving you that dignity and respect back. What is happening is you're adding value to people's lives. And so in the day that we live in, people have lost their value. We've lost the value of a life. But when we remember that we can teach and reflect and fall back on that principle, the golden rule that you'll start adding value to lives so that you understand that all lives really matter. How do we get there, Parham? That's not an easy question to answer. But the key to it is to start placing God back first place in our lives, in our communities, and in our society. The next key is teaching that confronts the human hearts in a challenging, thought-provoking, but caring way to make them think about real truth, not the truth that they come up with, not the truth that society comes up with, not truth that fits one group and not fits another, but God's biblical truth that lays the groundwork for equality for all. God is not a respecter of person. And so we want to apply the golden rule, or learn the golden rule that simply treat people the way you want to be treated. I was taught that as a young man growing up. My grandmother and them taught me that. And we got to get back to the table talk in reality to love and respect one another. We're going to see good changes and great changes, prosperity and movement and trueness of God's way in our community. The golden rule, it adds value if we apply it and then use it. Then God, you understand, ultimately has the work in the human hearts. It's not enough for you to know the rule, but you have to be able to apply it into every situation. And when you do that, you need God to work in your heart to receive what has been taught. We have the responsibility, my brothers and sisters, to confront injustice, to speak truth, but also to live the truth out in love. So simply tonight as we close, apply the simple principle of the golden rule. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Much love. God bless you on your journey. And may peace be with you. with you. Amen.